Salutations and shit, folks. Welcome back to another episode of your new favorite travel podcast, Travel and Shit, where I, your host, D. Carey, have experiential conversations about nuanced ways that travel intersects with regular life. So, I'd like to start off a little bit of a somber note. Apologies in advance. Just want to say my thoughts and prayers go out to my bird of paradise that you usually see in, the YouTube videos with me. His name is Dolomite, and it's one of the very few large plants that I have in my home. He's not doing too well. I've moved him to what I'd like to consider hospice at this point. I really feel like he's on his way out, but there's always hope. So, if you all could just prayer up. I really like that man. I really do. So I want him to live, y'all. I want my man to live. Rooting for you, though. Rooting for you, baby. One love. So, welcome back. If you are new here, I am happy to see you. If you've been rocking with the kids, I'm also happy to see you. I'm happy everybody's here. So, this week, I kind of want to discuss a little bit of the side travel nobody really talks about, right? I feel like there's probably a bunch of different ways you can consider the nobody talks about side, but I think I'm going to win with this one. Everyone likes to consider travel as, going new and exciting places, leaving home, and exploration, whether it be, far or relatively near, next town over. But travel also includes being a motherfucking host. Sometimes it's not you exploring a new location. Sometimes it's you hosting friends and family when they're in your neighborhood. So today, on this good travel and shit episode, I'd like to discuss being the fucking host. Scroll up to the top of my list, and I've got 5 tips. Simple. 5 tips to help you, my good friends, be, I guess a decent host. I would say a great host, but I can't say that I know all of you. I feel like I know all of you. But, honestly, I'd like to get to know you guys better, so feel free to drop me a line. But, I'd like to say if you're here, you're a fan-fucking-tastic person. But, let's be honest. I can't vouch for all of you, see what I mean? But I think that if you stick to these 5 tips, I wouldn't be mad if you included my name in part of how you were able to be a good host. Only if, they would rate you 5 out of 5 on whatever app an imaginary family hosting app would be, right? Let's dive in. So, first tip, know your space. Know your space, folks. Do you need to buy an airbed? Is your couch even sleep friendly? I used to pride myself on having, an open couch. I'd have friends come over for game night, or friends, shout out to Billy Drew, my cousins. I used to really be like, pull up, my couch is comfy as all fuck. Y'all, it was I want to say I got it from Jennifer Convertibles. Floor model. It was the most comfortable couch I think I've ever been on in my life. Okay? Not just sleeping, but sitting, the whole shebang. Loved that couch. However, it was made of that faux leatherette kind of shit, so after a few years, maybe about, I'd say maybe 7 years, it started to do that whole crinkle and dissolving kind of thing where all the leather would kind of just like fall off. It got really gross. I got tired of cleaning up after the couch. Otherwise, it was a perfectly good couch. It's just that it was making a mess and it's gross. I'm an adult. Being in the house at the time during the pandemic, it was kind of one of those things where I can't keep doing this. Now that I see my house so much more, now that I, actually get to enjoy it, if you will, I felt as if I was ready to invest in another couch. So unfortunately, the couch that I bought is beautiful. The shit looks great, but I fucking hate it. It's wildly uncomfortable. I do not recommend buying furniture online if comfort actually matters to you. Learn from my mistakes. If you could possibly go in person to see it, that is your best option. I went to so many different furniture stores trying to find a couch, but I had in my mind that I wanted a pink velvet couch. I was paying the money, so I wanted what the fuck I wanted. However, there weren't, any display options outside of like $4,000 custom units, and I'm renting. I'm not spending $4,000 for the couch. So the couch that I currently have is pretty, but the bitch ain't comfy. So I know that when friends and family visit, I'm going to have to pull out the airbed. I actually just purchased one because my best friend's out, Aces, and her daughter Lucy. Last week's guest. The episode about the kids' perspective on travel. If you haven't already, make sure you check that one out. My two beauties came to visit. They came to New York, and I absolutely knew that, one, there are two of them, and my boyfriend. It's the four. No one would have been able to sleep on a couch at that point. So the airbed was a must, a necessary. But if it weren't for my boyfriend and I sharing the apartment, I would have just slept on the couch, go on my old couch, and let Blumenthal take my bed. That is no more an option. So I bought an airbed. It, wasn't exactly the most comfortable, but it was absolutely better than the fucking floor, That's because I knew my space. I knew that we could all comfortably stay in my apartment. It wouldn't be, uncomfortable. It wouldn't be unsafe, and it wouldn't be wildly annoying or anything like that. But I knew that for everybody's comfort, an airbed was the best decision. I think I spent like $50, $60 on Amazon. It came relatively quick, and it was absolutely worth the money. Let's see, what else do I have on here? Are pets a problem? If you have a pet, I highly doubt that, it's likely or convenient for you to send your pet elsewhere. So confirm with your guests. Are there any pet allergy havers in the group? Is anyone afraid of dogs? I have a very small dog. You all have seen my beautiful co-host, Banksy, on the YouTube. So if you YouTube search, watch the podcast. Stop by the YouTube. Just search out travel and shit. Don't forget, it's the letter N, and not the word and spelled out. Give her a little view. Shout out to my baby Banksy. But she's a small dog. So, and everybody loves her, and she loves everybody. So it's not an issue when I have people stay here for the dog to be here. But if you have a larger dog that maybe some people are afraid of, or if you have a dog that's not exactly company friendly, those are things that you have to consider before you, offer your space for friends and family to stay at. What else do I have here? Oh, does your apartment or building have certain rules, like no pets or smoking, that you need to reinforce with your guests? Sometimes your guests may be traveling with their own pets. Do you need to consider whether or not your dog and their dog are going to vibe? Do you need to consider whether or not their cat and your dog, shit like that. Like, consider whether or not their animal will be welcome in your space. Does your building allow pets? And for example, that they've got a emotional support animal, or even a medically necessary support animal that is traveling with them that you would need to accommodate for. What else? Also, are they smokers? Do you need to let them know in advance, hey, I'd love to be able to open my home to you. Just keep in mind that you're not going to be able to smoke inside. I have a 5-floor walk-up, or, the elevators can take a while for them to, be in service. And you may not want to, wait for the elevator, or consistently do the walk up if you smoke often, or if you have a partner that's asthmatic. You may particularly not care whether or not they smoke in your apartment, but it's going to be an issue for your partner, or if you have children, or if you're a smoker and they've got young kids that are coming with them, and they don't necessarily want you smoking around their children. Those are things that you kind of want to think about beforehand so that everybody can have a comfortable stay if they are indeed going to stay with you. What else do I have here? Oh, is this the loud cousin or the friend? They get a little drunk and they, for some reason, or they're that, they're not a fun drunk, or they are the really loud, talkative, social one. It's fun when you're out and about in the streets and there are a ton of strangers you can wave to and talk to. But it can be a little bit problematic, if you will, when it's just the 3 or 4 of y'all in the apartment and you're ready to go to bed and they won't shut up. You know what I mean? Like, know your space. Is this going to disturb your neighbors? Do you have a landlord that's pretty strict about the, hey, midnight, all that loud shit's gotta stop? Little things like that. Everybody could be having a great time, and a great time turns into a bad time really quick sometimes if, certain things aren't taken into consideration in advance. So, know your space. Next, know your guest. Similar to that last little tidbit, is this the, really, really needy cousin? And they're going to be up under you every step of the way. You might want to plan for such. Is this the one that's a self-starter? So, you don't necessarily need to hold their hand. They already know what they're coming to do. They just need some place to stay because they, are only going to be here for 2 nights, and it doesn't really make sense to pay for a hotel when they come to New York, because you live in New York, that kind of thing. You know what I mean? Kind of want to be aware in advance what the personality of the person is going to be. If you're going to be spending time with them, are they the scary friend? And everything you do, they're going to question or doubt or be a little tepid of, is that word? Tepid? I think it's tepid. I know timid is word, but I think tepid is also I don't know. One of y'all knows, and you're either judging or you're not. I'm okay with that. Are they the scary one, or are they the fucking space cadet that can't cross the street by themselves? You know what I mean? Some of these things are things you want to consider in advance so that you can know whether or not you actually want to be available to them. Save yourself the hassle, the drama, the stress of not recalling in advance the personality. I get sometimes, this is the cousin that you haven't seen since y'all were maybe like 16, and now that y'all are adults and, you travel for work, or you just have more flexibility for whatever reason, y'all want to reconnect. Well, what are the conversations that you kind of want to have in advance, right? What are they looking to do? Are they the party animal? Are they the life of the party? And you're kind of more laid back and chill. I don't be going nowhere. I don't really like to party. I don't really like to do, too much. But, my people know that. That's not an issue. I am more inclined to go places and try new things when I am someone else's guest, or if I'm someplace else, because, I'm on vacation. I'm traveling. You know what I mean? I see it a little bit differently when I am the guest or the new person in the area versus when you're home. Know what, your personality is in relation to the personality of the person that's going to be a guest. I know that I don't want to do much. I am very content staying in my house. I've got internet. I pay that bill. It's actually on auto draft or whatever it's called. They get their money every month. So I'm good with streaming shit on TV and being on the internet, right? But if I have a guest that's coming in, I can kind of, weigh those options in terms of, all right, am I going to go out with you? Am I going to tell you in advance that I have plans? Or, little things like that. Know the different personalities. Is there going to be a clash based on their general disposition or their, social lifestyles and such? What was the other one? Scroll up without me. Oh, do they have special needs? Such as like diet? Are they vegan? And all you have is beef jerky and, I don't know, hard boiled eggs and bacon to snack on. Are they mobility limited? Are they in a wheelchair? Are they an older person? Like, is your grandma coming to visit and she walks with a cane or a walker? So you need to assist a little bit more. Do you need to drive them around? Are they going to need a ride from the airport? Little things like that, you kind of want to, check out in advance, discuss in advance, so that you're not caught off guard. If you know that they are something simple as having water in the house if you don't normally drink water. I know people that don't drink water. Grown ass adults, I know. Some people don't fucking drink water. Are they the bougie cousin that's not going to be cool with tap water? So maybe you want to buy a case of water, or maybe you want to get that Brita on sale in Target, the next Target run you take, so that there's something available for your guests. Because honestly, even though you're doing them a favor, at the same time, it's kind of like, don't do that. Like, have basic things available to them. You know what I mean? Little things like that. Also, if you know it's really going to be an inconvenience for you to pick them up from the airport, or if they're not drivers, is it necessary to discuss in advance with them, like, hey, I'm not really comfortable having a really long itinerary, so consider, like, hey, knowing, making sure that they have Uber downloaded, or making sure that you have the train schedule available to them, or letting them know in advance, hey, girl, I, may need a little on the gas money because I live an hour and a half from the airport. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. You kind of want to have those things in mind for these. I know when Della and Lucy came by, Lucy's 10. Granted, I too like to snack, but snacks, you know what I mean? They bought their own snacks, but I tried to make sure that I had a good arsenal of pretzels, chips, and, fruit snacks and stuff that, if a 10-year-old wants to grab something to eat herself without having to make a bowl of ramen or something like that, she can go grab some fruit snacks or some fruit or something. I just wanted to make sure that there were little finger foods and things that she could eat, I could eat, that my company would be able to grab if they wanted to just run out and take care of business and, not have to make a meal, buy a meal, or, we're sitting here staring at each other wondering what the fuck we want to eat, right? I don't think. Thankfully, boyfriend does. God bless him. It's beautiful and fucking incredible. What else do I have here? Does their disposition put you at risk? So, imagine you are planning a day, and I live in New York, so let's just say we're planning a day in the city, right? Last thing I want to do is have them accompany me to an event in the village and find out that some unknown reason I didn't know this cousin was fucking homophobe. So that would absolutely be fucking problematic. One, for me, because I don't stand for shit like that. We love a beer tree. I'm very queer myself, and hello, I welcome all of us in this little bubble of love. Okay, everyone's welcome here. Everyone is good people here. Everyone is fucking normal here, wherever you may fall on the spectrum. If that's a problem for you, or for whatever guest that is coming to your home, it's one thing to say, cut off friends. I stand for it. I also kind of stand for cutting off toxic and problematic family members, because family does not equate to, receiving and accepting disrespect. But, say, for example, your Nana comes to visit, and you love your Nana. Your Nana loves you down, and for the most part, she doesn't give you much beef, but you and your girlfriend live together, and it's like, yes, Nana, we're living in sin. I'm going to need you to keep that, all right? Because, no, I know you can't afford a hotel, and I'm not paying for a hotel, so you're going to have to live in this life of sin with this kind of thing. You know what I mean? So, you kind of want to know their personality beforehand. Is this bougie cousin? And even though you've got another cousin that's performing someplace in Bed-Stuy, this cousin's going to be clutching their purse and really looking around and up and down at everybody as if, they're doing something wrong. know the company you're keeping. Don't have, the, not every friend is for every event. Not every, and by friend, I mean family member as well. Not everybody is for everything. You know that you have the homegirl that you don't take out to eat because she is always the one that becomes a mathematician when the receipt comes. You know you have the homeboy that you don't invite to the club because he talks wild hot shit beforehand and then gets there and cancels the bottle after you order from the bottle girl. And no, you're not going to spend $300 on a bottle by yourself. You're going to split a bottle with your friend and maybe somebody else or whatever. Unless they're in a bottle, $300 for a bottle is your thing. By all means, buy your own fucking bottle. But things like that, like, we all know that not every friend is for every outing or for every experience. Consider those things when you have friends and family stay with you. Don't necessarily invite them to events and, environments that can be problematic should they be there for. So if you've got friends that you want to do a game night with, and you're like, oh, because it's the same age, let's go. If these friends are, heavy smokers and drinkers, and this family member is not, that may not be a good mix. You know what I mean? The last thing you want to do is put your friends and family in a situation that's really uncomfortable for them. Also, that's something that should be considered. But also considering you don't want to invite that cousin or that friend to your home friend group's space and make them uncomfortable either. So consider those things before you, have everybody just one big happy, we can all go together or we can all, hang out together. Think about it. You know what I mean? Is this person or is this guest appropriate for the group and outing that you're inviting to? Also, consider age-appropriate fun. I'm an adult. I'm an adult without kids, so I curse a lot. I, however, don't want to curse around my friends' kids. I know my friends and I curse, but there's a little bit of a boundary that I'd like to respectfully hold in place. I allow for my friends to curse in front of them, but I still feel a little bit uncomfortable cursing around kids because their potty mouth is not going to be my problem. That's not going to be, I'm not going to be the one to teach them that shit. They can learn that with you at the house, not me. Also, do you have to, curtail your own activities because kids are in the house? Depending on how old the kids are, do you not smoke and drink around these kids? Do you not put on your Trap Thursday cleaning list to wash dishes because you've got, young impressionable ears in the room? Do you not watch certain movies? You know what I mean? Things like that. Your favorite candle may be, something that's, I don't know, like, what do you call it? I know they always have, one of the things we went to while I was here, we were on Fulton Street in Brooklyn, and we were doing a lot of the, what do you call those, like, table vendors and stuff like that. And so, how they always have, like, that wild name, like, essential oil, like, or even that, was it Erica Badu? Did, like, pussy incense or some shit like that. Don't like the weed incense. Don't like, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, there are certain things that may be appropriate for you in your own adult-ass house by yourself or with other adult company, but if you've got kids around, consider that watching even whatever show you always watch the same time of the week might need a rain check until next week because young ears shouldn't necessarily be listening to or watching, some of the things that you watch on your own time. Tip 3 is know your limits. Did I get all the other ones? Yes, I did. Know your limits. This is your home, and they are guests in your home. So you are allowed to put and stand firm in whatever boundaries you set. I would offer and suggest that you consider what some of those boundaries are before your guests actually arrive. What can you be flexible on in terms of sharing your space? can you prepare for some things in advance? Or can you set your, get your mental in the right space, position, order to kind of adapt to certain behaviors while your company is with you? Do you need uninterrupted bathroom time? Maybe you want to wake up a bit earlier than your guests so that you can make sure that you get your, slow cooker time in the bathroom. You can get your full, nice, hour-long shower. You can, get your meditation and prayer or your yoga workout going on in the morning before your guests get up. Like, maybe you need to wake up at 5 as opposed to doing it at 7 because the friends and family will be up and moving, or you don't want to, collide and cross paths with certain things like bathroom time. And, if you, for example, have, a spouse or a partner of a friend or a family that's also staying with you, you may want to consider, like, damn, do I have to wear a bra now because my cousin's husband is in the house? You know what I mean? Just little things like that, like being prepared to alter some things because you have company, because you have guests. Do you now want to, now you got to wear some shit to sleep because you got fucking company. It's one thing if you've got, bedroom space, you can, comfortably sleep in your bedroom, close the door, and go ahead and sleep naked. But, if it may be an issue, or if it may arise that for some reason this friend needs to reach you in an emergency, or like if they've got, young kids, or for whatever fucking reason, shit happens, life happens, people will always be there. These are things that you kind of just put in the back of your mind, right? What do I have next here? Oh, do you need your house to always be fucking clean? Is this reasonable to, kind of keep in place if your guest is bringing children? Children will always children. Kids are supposed to fuck up because they're not supposed to know anything. You know what I mean? Remember that. Kids aren't adults. Don't treat them like adults. Don't put adult expectations on children. Although children may, be expected to have some type of behavior, don't expect that a 9-year-old is going to behave or, have the same responsibilities or expect the same from a, 9-year-old that you would from a 29. Children are supposed to fuck some things up because they're kids. So keep in mind that if, you find a dirty dish on the counter, consider that they may not necessarily do that at home. Is that something that you need to voice or speak up on so that you don't drive your own fucking self crazy? Let them know, hey, do me a favor, I don't need you to wash the fucking dish. I just need you to make it into the fucking sink. Stuff like that, you know what I mean? Those are, or just keep peace and say, you know what, I'll put it in the sink. I'll do it myself. They're only here for 3 days. This is not something that is really going to bother me in the grand scheme of things. Chasing behind this person. For example, when my dad comes to visit, I don't know how the fuck he does it, but he always manages to use an actual cup. Like an actual glass. Granted, boyfriend does dishes. I don't do stuff. I don't do kitchens. I will keep the rest of this fucking house clean, but I will not. I don't do kitchen. That's his thing. So before boyfriend moved over, my dad, God bless him, love him so much. I have a stack of red fucking cups on top of the microwave. Very fucking visible. Obvious as all hell. They also keep their cups on top of the microwave. So it ain't like my man don't know where the fuck they are. My dad would always, I know you're watching this too, don't use real cups. Use a red cup. And I would get on it every time. Granted, he'd also wash them. But it was just like, what are we doing? Now, if this were a guest, is this something that I want to consistently keep, reminding them about? If it's only going to be 2 days, choose fucking cups. I'll either wash them, you wash them, you get it done. It's always a running joke with me and my dad. It's all love. It's no beef. But little things like that. If it's something that really matters to you, speak on it. Let them know. I don't want to wash these fucking dishes. And I also don't necessarily want you washing dishes. Use the red cups. They're right here. I don't do plates. Use the paper plates. I don't do silverware. Use the plastic utensils. Whatever it fucking is for you, this is your home. Set those boundaries. Next thing I have on here. Do you need to put the good china up? So, I will not say I don't have nice things, but I will say that I don't really have wildly expensive things, right? I can't really think of anything that if it broke would be irreplaceable. Um, However, if you've got a family heirloom or something that's just really sentimental to you, do you necessarily want to leave it out, right? If they have kids coming by, do you need to childproof your house in any way? I know if my cousin comes over and, I'm trying to think of, well, actually, I think one of my cousins got their kids is all grown. But if you have a family member or a friend that's coming over with their toddler, do you need to childproof anything? Do you need to, pick up certain figurines that you may have picked up in different travels or something and put them on a higher shelf? Do you need to put what do you call the outlet protectors in your outlets? Do you need to not leave flower vases or whatever? Like, consider little things that you may need to put away. Also, consider, do you really know who's staying in your house? I remember one time, my cousin came into New York and he brought a friend with him. Poor shop to stay at my house. I trusted that my cousin wasn't going to bring a thief into my home, right? However, that doesn't mean that I'm going to just leave something that is valuable to me out in the open. You know what I mean? Consider little things like that. If you've got a habit of leaving cash stashed around your house, then consider maybe unstashing it and putting it all in one spot, or just keeping it with you, just for the simple peace of mind for not having to have to check behind other people and, don't give yourself the opportunity to forget that you spent it and now you're speculating or now you're, assuming that it was someone else that did it, but you forgot that it was actually you. Or, God forbid, we all know that some of us don't have very trustworthy family, and you don't want someone that you should otherwise be able to trust now have a reason for you not to trust them. You know what I mean? It's to yourself to me. Consider these things in advance and kind of know who all you're opening your home to. We all love our family, and a lot of times we do things that we wouldn't necessarily do for a friend or a stranger that we would do for our family. But like we all know, you can't choose your family, you can't change your family, but you can absolutely, separate yourself from your family. You can decide not to interact with your family, but we may not necessarily want to get to those points if we don't have to, right? So those are little things to. That's one thing to consider in terms of just the shit around you. Like if you know that. Oh, that's so frustrating. If you know that they bought you something and God forbid you ever really hang it up, maybe this is something to kind of consider, maybe hang it up for them. A thought that just came to me. What do I have next here? Kind of like the whole over here clause in the staying with you. If you want to put those limitations on friends and family, like, hey, you're welcome, put your man's in. You're welcome, and I love you kids, but I don't want them staying in my home kind of thing. Back to, knowing yourself and knowing what you are able to accommodate and what you're okay with, and, knowing your limits. This is your home. If you are not willing to deal with, partner of someone or the accompaniment, the dependent, if you will, of someone, it's well within your rights to say, hey, you know what? Maybe you can do, or maybe we can do one day, but not a whole week kind of thing. An overnight visit is one thing. Staying with you for a week is not for everybody. What did I have here? Also consider how different, if you will, you have to live your lifestyle. If you are a relatively sloppy person, you're going to have company over. Are you not willing to put your shoes away when your guests are over? Are you not willing to, not do laundry every day because you have a routine or a schedule and, this person needing your attention or needing guidance or advisement or whatever, it just doesn't really, fit in with what your normal is. Those are things that you want to discuss before. Put those boundaries in place. This is your fucking house. Do you need to lay out those ground rules from jump? That was the last time. I have a bedtime. Maybe got to get up for work in the morning. That may be something that you need to put in place. Or if you just know that your day, regardless of whether you have to be at work or not, if you know that your day is going to be totally fucked, if you are not in bed by 10 p.m., that may be something that you need to discuss with your guests. Hey girl, do whatever the fuck you want. I'm in bed by 10. Turn everything down, not necessarily off, but just, I need my space. You know what I mean? Those may be things. Those are things that you should mention either beforehand or right when it becomes an issue. Don't end up, leaving this visit or this situation with broken relationships. Some things can be solved with a conversation. Use your words. Use your words. Also, tip 4. Know your commitments. Do you have to be at work in the morning? Do you have to drop your kids at school the next day? You may be on vacation, but your kids got to go to school. Or you've got a vet appointment in the middle of your company's trip, and you are inaccessible, from whatever hours because you'll be taking care of that. Do you have agreements or engagements that you already have in place that are going to require some of your time? You may have, family and friends coming in, and they're thinking that you're going to spend your time with them, but you know that that's not possible. That might be something that you want to bring up in advance. Back to whether or not they need to be, chauffeured around. You may not necessarily mind driving them or dropping them off places, but are you going to be available to do that for them? Don't have your cousin come stay with you and think that you're going to be the one that is driving, but you got to go to work. Now your cousin is stuck and can't go anywhere or can't do anything because, they are unable to possibly afford Ubers, or they are not comfortable being on, whatever transit system you have in the area, or they're just not comfortable being out and about by themselves. Consider that maybe this is not a good week, or this is not a good time, or that you want to wait for you to be on vacation, for them to be able to enjoy their vacation with you. Consider what reason are they, there for? Are they there for a medical trip and they're going to need some attention? You know what I mean? God forbid somebody is coming into town to, have some surgery done or to have whatever medical procedure or whatever get done. And, they are expecting hey, I need a ride from here. Is that something you can do? Or is that something that you're going to be able to provide for if you don't drive? They may not know that, when you moved to New York, you gave your car up because when you lived in Connecticut, you always had a car. It's not necessary here. That may not be something that they necessarily consider because that's not the life that they live. So, again, use your words. Talk to your people. Did you pay for a trainer at 5 a.m.? And you know that you spent good money on it, so you need to show the fuck up. So you're going to be up making noise or up getting ready, or if you're giving them your bedroom and you're sleeping on the couch or you're in another room on an airbed, you're going to have to go in the room to get your clothes or something. Is that something that you want to accommodate for and then take your clothes out the night before? Or is that just not going to work for you in your normal routines and you have to go in your room? Or if the only way to get into your master bathroom or whatever is through the bedroom that they're sleeping in. Little things like that. Know what you already have planned out. Know what is non-negotiable for you so that you don't have any conflicts or, a little bit of space for miscommunication when it comes to guests and your time. They are not, necessarily interchangeable unless you so deem them to be. Because remember, this is your space, and I don't want to say you're doing them a favor, but you're doing them a favor. They're staying with you for free, right? So, final tip: know your community. Is your cousin going to have beef with that neighbor, right? Or is, your dad or your mom not really did it, or say your mom or your dad or like your whoever raised you didn't necessarily know the neighborhood that you moved into. Like, you're comfortable, you're fine, but you know your parents, and you know that they're going to make a big deal about niggas in front of the building every fucking day. You know what I mean? Know what all is happening around you so that you will be prepared to either, say to them, hey girl, maybe this isn't a good space for you to stay in. I'm good. I'm comfortable. You, not so much. Maybe you need to stay elsewhere. Or do you just need to let them know, hey, we don't like the neighbors over there. Don't go waving at them because we don't fuck with them. That kind of thing. You know what I mean? So, also, if you know there's just like a personality clash, or if you just know, damn, I know y'all gonna hate each other on site, consider if that on-site person is, I don't know, fucking doorman at your building, or the lady that you ride share for work with. I don't fucking know. Life will always life, and people will always people. So if, things can go wrong, or if things can go astray, it's possible that you may want to keep that in mind before it actually happens, so that you can either prepare for it in advance and, buffer it, or avoid it happening altogether. If you have a friend that's very comfortable just showing up to your house at 1 o'clock in the morning, be like, girl, I need to talk about this. Maybe let that friend know, hey girl, call me first. Don't just like show up at the door, use your spare key, and just walk in, because I have, some cousins staying with me, and that may be a little jarring for them to just see somebody walk in. Or just let your cousins know, hey girl, my homegirl, she's got a key. She pops up at all random times. Pick and choose. That's your battle. Decide who you need to warn. Maybe you need to warn both people. Or maybe you know that the friend that has that spare key doesn't get along with this cousin. Maybe let your friend know, hey girl, so the cousin that you have beef with, she's actually coming to stay with me. Girl, I love you. This is my cousin. Y'all will have to squash that beef, or y'all just don't have to not see each other. Again, conversations, use your words. Also, about knowing your community. What is local that is old to you, but new to them? So, I actually work in Manhattan. So, plenty of the things that are in Manhattan, also being a native New Yorker, I don't give a fuck about. Don't give a fuck. Empire State Building. It's there. Cool. But plenty of people come to the city to see that. Plenty of people come to the city to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge. When Lou and Del came, we walked across the Brooklyn Bridge. I've done it before. It was a decent time. I mean, I had a great time with them, actually. But it's old to me, but Lucy's never done it. So, of course, let's go. 1, it's free. And 2, it's something that you can kind of look mad like, oh girl, I love this little brewery or cafe or this little shop that's over here that you may like. Also consider things that you're into, that your guests are into. Bring them to the version of it by yourself. I love good crystal. I love all the metaphysical things. Crystals, give me the sage, give me the candles, give me the totems, all the shit. I'm with it. Remember, I'm the hippie friend. Lucy asked me about crystals. So, lo and behold, we were in Rockville Center to go eat, by accident actually, and we were actually around the corner from my favorite crystal shop. So, surprise! I'm going to bring you to a crystal shop so we can walk around, you can ask questions, you can buy whatever, Her and Mama went, picked some crystals up. The kid had a great time. And I've been there a million times. So it's old to me, but it's new to them. It's something that we both share in common that we're interested in. And I could give her an experience that she wouldn't have necessarily known was available to her because why would she randomly just go to a crystal shop and ask Mom to take her there, That kind of thing. We happened to be in the area and I was familiar with the area. So it just made sense for us to just add that in to, hey girl, I'm from here, I know things. Let me bring you to my places. The coffee shop that you always go to, how cool is it if you walk in with your cousin and they're like, oh, D, what's going on? Hey, who's that? And then, of course, you look like a cool person because baristas at your coffee shop know who you are. Pro tip, it's fun. So, things that are old to you, new to them. You're comfortable there. You know what everything costs, or you know what time it opens and closes. You're familiar with it. So, it's a little bit of familiarity for you while also being new and exciting for your guests in the company. Is there a shop or event that you can support? Remember, think local. If you've got a friend that is putting on a concert, if you've got a park that's nearby, if you've got a, something that's going on in the area that you would have normally gone to, consider bringing that company with you. Don't necessarily think that because it's not necessarily a big deal for you, that it won't be something interesting to them. If there is a movie in the park, or if there are free community events or things happening, consider that maybe if you're in New York and you have, or not even just New York, consider going to the next town over. I might find something in Brooklyn at, like, say, the Brooklyn Children's Museum. I'm going to fuck kids, but I got a kid staying with me for the week, so I'm going to look into things that my friends are going to be interested in. So consider who you have coming to visit you and what is available and what is open to be experienced in your neighborhood that you can have them tag along with. What was the other thing I have here? And kind of like, for example, there is a farmer's market that happens out here on Saturdays. It's Queens Girl, so Laurelton Farmer's Market. I want to say it's every Saturday and Sunday, I think. But I'm part of Black Resource Network on Facebook, so if you are interested, definitely give them a check. Check them out. But it's spelled BLAQUE. It's for Black Queens, but mostly like Southeast Queens. But I guess they represent all Queens. I'm not particularly certain, but it is a Facebook group. Very fond of them, love them, and I know that they always promote that there is a Laurelton Farmers Market. So if we didn't already, if we hadn't already had plans for the weekend, or if the girls were actually going to be here, I don't think they stayed. I think they were here Monday through Friday, actually. Anyway, something simple like that, a farmer's market, local vendors, local business people. These are your neighbors. Some of them are your friends. Show up, support them. Everybody likes to come home with a souvenir, a little tchotchke or some shit like that. Might as well be from your neighbors. Might as well be from your own people. You know what I mean? Have your friends and family support locally if it's possible as well, or if it's something that you're interested in. If you live in a dominant white institution or dominantly white neighborhood, that might not necessarily be a priority for you. You may want to then go to Black-owned businesses because very pro-Black over here. Shop Black, buy Black, live in Black. Yes, here you are. And what else did I have in here? What are local tourist attractions that you can enjoy and explore? A lot of times, like I mentioned before, we ignore a lot of things just because it's here. It's not going anywhere. Statue of Liberty is not going anywhere. Not going. Certain things we expect to just always be there, but consider this as an opportunity for you to explore your own community, for you to explore your own state, country, whatever, however near or far these friends are visiting from. Consider that you get to explore with them. Consider you get to, view the experience as a tourist with them, since they are going to be a tourist and they'll be looking at it from tourist eyes. They may actually surprise you with their viewpoint on something that you see right often. So use this as an opportunity to maybe visit something that you wanted to see, but because it was local, you kind of always put off just by saying, oh, I'm going to get there, I'm going to get there, I'm going to get around to it, it'll be there, right? Use the opportunities. Explore. Travel doesn't necessarily have to just be you going someplace else. You can absolutely use instances like this, opportunities such as friends and family coming in to visit, for you to say, well, what is around here? What haven't I done? What is interesting, or what is something that may be up our alley that we want to check out? So, that's this week's episode. I hope the 5 tips, which were know your space, know your guest, know your limits, know your commitments, and knowing your community. I hope they were helpful, useful. It's summertime, kids are out of school, you may have some family coming up. So put these things in place, especially the boundaries part. Know that this is your home, and I really don't play by my home. If you can't be at peace at home, if you can't be happy at home, where the fuck are you going to be happy? Where on God's green earth are you going to be at peace? Keep these things in mind. And holler at me on the internet. I am TRABEL, the letter N, SH_T on Instagram. And I decided to do a special little giveaway just for my listeners, people that actually just listen to the episode. I'm going to do a t-shirt giveaway. Every week I'm going to give away 2 free shirts. All I'm asking is for you to share your favorite travel and shit episode on your IG stories. But make sure you tag me so that I'll know you did it, and I can add you to the list of people that I'm going to choose from to send a shirt to. At this point, do they ship internationally? I believe they do. I believe my print providers will ship internationally. So, as of now, shit's open to anybody. Where the fuck is that? I actually, I closed it down. I don't remember where it was. Let me think, hold on. I'll pull it up so I can give y'all the shizzy shout. We actually, it was Zimbabwe. Shout out to Zimbabwe. Charting very well in Zimbabwe. So, if you're listening, leave your favorite episode of Travel and Shit in your Instagram stories. Make sure to tag me. Again, it's TRAVEL, letter N, SH_T. So that I know that you are interested in winning a shirt, and 2 of you will win a shirt every week until I get tired of giving away shirts. Let's say for the rest of the month of July. So, actually, I want to extend it. Let's say July and August. July and August, tentatively. I'm giving away 2 shirts every week. So, next Thursday, I will let you guys know. Every Thursday, I'll let you know who won the shirts when I think I said it now. Or I'll tag you guys. I'll reach out to you to present your mailing address. But I'm going to be giving away t-shirts because I'm happy that you're here. And I appreciate your support. And I see the numbers. Y'all out there. And I want to show y'all some stuff. So, post on the Instagrams. It's the easiest thing I can think of right now. So, Bouncy, I appreciate you being here. If you have any suggestions, questions, comments, and concerns, and such, DM me. Give you the Instagram. Alright, y'all, it's really hot here, so I love you all. See you next week. Bye.